My fellow South African citizens and members of the local and international media, the African National Congress, the oldest liberation movement in the African continent, is globally recognized as one of the greatest liberation movements of our time. It was a mighty force that led the struggle for freedom against one of the most evil and cruel regimes, and inspired many liberation movements in the continent and beyond. This organization was established by great leaders who are regarded as forward thinkers and brave pioneers of this country. The objective was clear. It was to liberate the Black people and the Africans in particular, transform their lives, and also establish a South Africa that equally belongs to all who live in it. Black people had been turned into semi-slaves and semi-colonial subjects in the land of their forefathers by oppressors who came from faraway lands, causing severe marginalization over many centuries. After much reflection, it truly saddens me that the ANC of today is not the once great movement that we loved and were prepared to lay down our lives for. Due to infiltration and failure of leadership, the ANC has been reduced to an organization that is hardly respected by those that is sought to liberate, serve, and protect. Having engaged with many people from different walks of life, more especially those who have placed their faith in the ANC to transform their lives, it is clear that they are disappointed. They are very critical of the manner in which the ANC has been conducting itself as a political party governing their country in recent years, more especially under the current leadership. For over a century, the ANC leadership had always treated its members and supporters with utmost respect and prioritized listening to them more than listening to themselves. An open channel of communication from the ground up had always been a core practice of the organization and had helped to maintain a strong connection with the people. A healthy relationship between the leadership of the ANC and its members at all levels demonstrated the character of being an organization of the people, by the people, and for the people. It is for such reasons that many of us initially joined the ANC and believed so deeply in its mission that we were prepared to sacrifice our lives. Many indeed paid the supreme sacrifice and lost their lives in the process of fighting for our freedom. The ANC that I know always prioritized recruiting new members and continuously sought to build and maintain a powerful structure. The ANC I know was never focused more on expelling members without implementing proper processes to establish if such action was appropriate. The ANC I know gave its members and supporters a home and empowered them with clear policies to undertake the tasks it delegated to them in pursuit of the mission to transform lives. To be a member of this much respected organization was an honor and instilled a sense of pride in members. This encouraged members to be proactive in executing the mission of transforming the lives of the people. In the process, the organization produced some of the best cadres and visionary leaders who earned the respect of the people of this country and many more beyond our borders. I also personally benefited from the movement's investment in its members and leaders. As a long-standing member of this mighty organization, I spent the greater part of my life going through rigorous training and political education that shaped me to be what I am today. I've been an active member of the ANC for 64 years and have been trusted with and undertaken many tasks allocated to me by my leaders at different levels within the organization. I've served as a volunteer of the ANC. I've been a member of the ANC Youth League. I've also been trusted to hold a number of positions throughout the period of my membership. I've also served in the military wing of the ANC, Umkhonto Sizwe, where my commanders assigned me a number of tasks that I saw through. In these various positions, I carried out all the tasks and instructions I was entrusted with, no matter how difficult and dangerous some of the assignments may have been. I was equally ready to die if need be. There is not a single task that I do not execute to the best of my ability. I have always put the ANC first before any other personal interest in the pursuit of the greater goal of liberation. I was loyal to the organization then, and I remain a loyal servant of the organization to this day. I have served my organization under different conditions and circumstances. I joined the ANC in 1958 before it was banned in 1960. And when it was banned, I also served the organization underground. I was arrested and served 90 days detention without trial. I was on trial with other comrades for 3 months and served 10 years on Robben Island. I was exiled from my home country for 14 and a half years. During all this time, I remained loyal and true to my comrades and leaders. We were truly disciplined members of the ANC, not a slogan, but in reality. During those years on Robben Island, I can proudly say that the level of obedience and discipline was at its highest. During my time on Robben Island, I held the position of leading the political committee, which was responsible for political education. After my release, within the following 1 year and 11 months, I was appointed as the underground secretary of the then Natal province, and thereafter left the country to go into exile under the instruction of my organization. I later ascended to the position of commander within MK and was also elected as a leader of the ANC. Having faithfully served this organization from my youth until now, I have a concise understanding of how the organization works on its own and also with the alliance partners. I hold a very deep commitment to my organization. I have always been ready to serve the ANC at any level, and my track record reflects that. I truly believe in the mandate of the ANC, and I will continue to serve my organization. I will die a member of the ANC. Precisely because of my deep understanding and belief in the ANC, I deeply feel the pain and disappointment of witnessing this powerful organization being reduced to an organization that has introduced practices that are foreign to its character and mission. Some of the foreign behavior and displays have led to the public losing confidence in the capabilities of the organization and losing faith and respect for its leadership. Due to these unfortunate developments, many people are vocalizing their mistrust in the organization to the extent that they are threatening not to vote for the ANC in the upcoming elections. This organization was trusted by friends and foes. The people of this country looked forward to engaging and interacting with the ANC. Many looked up to the ANC as a forward-thinking organization and as the real liberator of the oppressed. As a result of this organization attracted persons of all classes, races, and ages to join in carrying out its noble mission. However, in recent years, many members and supporters of the organization have reached a point where they have publicly come forth to express their difficulty with understanding and accepting the manner in which the organization is being run by the current leadership. The organization that I have served for over 6 decades under trying conditions has changed into an organization that we no longer recognize. This organization is now being led by some leaders who are behaving in an un-ANC manner that does not reflect the true character and mission of the organization. This has led me to identify the need to rescue our organization from this un-ANC behavior. There is an overwhelming and growing number of cadres who have raised similar concerns about the current manner in which the organization is being led. Others have unsuccessfully tried to express their concerns and were robbed of the opportunity to express themselves in the appropriate arena of the ANC National Conference. When I was the president of the ANC, dissenting voices were never silenced as in the present. Even the Zuma Must Fall Brigade were free to express themselves. It has become clear that this organization is no longer the organization we grew up knowing. It is for this very reason that those of us who will never forsake or abandon the ANC feel it necessary that we undertake a process to rescue the ANC from the wrong hands, bring it back to the people and restore its former glory. Given the death of democratically elected structures of the ANC, the role of money is determining electoral outcomes since the CR17 scandal of blatant white monopoly capture of the organization and the suspected fraudulent manipulation of conference outcomes. I have full sympathy with those comrades who believe that ANC can no longer be saved from within its non-existent structures. Something more bold, creative, and dramatic needs to be done by those who love the real ANC. Some have resigned and cited valid reasons for doing so. Others have not renewed their membership. Other ANC members have even told me that they keep their membership but vote for other progressive parties. All this has resulted in the rapid decline of the ANC in successive elections. It is now widely expected that the ANC will lose national election for the first time since 1994. This follows its 46% loss of the 2021 local government elections under the present leadership, which should have served as a wake-up call. This seems like a deliberate plot to kill the ANC. I've been left with no alternative as a faithful servant of this organization that I love and believe in, but to do something to correct the wrongs within the organization so that we can restore the confidence of the public in the vision of the ANC and regain their trust and support. We need to rescue the ANC and bring it back to the organization that we know, love, and trust. This requires drastic action. Before stating what that we're going to do to rescue and restore the real ANC vision, let me tabulate a few of the current pressing issues on which I base my distrust of the current ANC of Ramaphosa as a proxy of white monopoly capital, which must be distinguished from the real ANC. Firstly, the ANC kept quiet when the powers of the president were taken away in the appointment of the chair of the commission on the so-called state capture. This symbolized an opportunistic amendment of the Constitution of South Africa. Secondly, the ANC kept quiet when it became clear that the 2017 National Conference and the position of president had been stolen or bought by forces outside the organization for an amount of 300 million rand, which the president admitted under oath, and the estimated amount of 1 billion rand or more found by the public protector in her Bosasa report in which Ramaphosa was fingered. Thirdly, the turning point for me was a misguided statement made by the ANC president that the ANC is accused number one for corruption in South Africa. Neither the leadership of the ANC and the NEC nor the membership at the most recent national conference saw the need to challenge or change that incorrect statement. Fourthly, the ANC expelled its Secretary General using the selective application of the so-called step-aside rule, but will now allow the president, who is also facing criminal charges, to top its list for the next election. Fifthly, the ANC stood idle when 400 black people were massacred in KwaZulu-Natal following the avoidable July 2021 unrest caused by the Constitutional Court and Mr. Raymond Zondo due to my imprisonment without trial under the ANC of Ramaphosa. Sixthly, the last straw was when, due to the public protector's 31 questions in the investigation of the Phala scandal, she was suspended and then impeached by the ANC, DA, and Freedom Front working together. I have now been told that the ANC of Ramaphosa has decided to vote in favor of the impeachment of Judge President Hlophe and Judge Motata. The ANC of Ramaphosa has declared war against progressive black professionals and intellectuals. Lastly, the ANC of Ramaphosa has plunged the country into darkness with load shedding, which has ruined the economy. This could have easily been avoided by keeping the best management with successfully prevented load shedding and adopting nuclear energy many years ago. Today, we are told that nuclear power has suddenly become affordable. These are just some of the key reasons for my answer to the question, what is to be done? Some ANC leaders have asked me to campaign for the ANC in the 2024 elections. For the reasons I have stated, and many others that I will share with the public in the coming months, I have decided that I cannot and will not campaign for the ANC of Ramaphosa. My conscience will not allow me to lie to the people of South Africa and to pretend that the ANC of Ramaphosa is the ANC of Luthuli, Tambo, and Mandela. It is not the ANC that I joined and went to jail for. In this regard, I fully agree with other former leaders like Comrade Thabo Mbeki and others that it would be a betrayal to campaign for the ANC of Ramaphosa. However, I also believe that it is not enough to withdraw from the ANC campaign, which will lead our people to more misery, poverty, racism, unemployment, deepening load shedding, and a government led by sellouts and apartheid collaborators. It is also our duty to guide our people in what to do in order to save our revolution from its enemies and to achieve the society envisaged by the Freedom Charter. I therefore wish to announce that in 2024, I will vote for the Umkhonto Sizwe MK party. It has already been registered with the IEC with my knowledge and blessings in response to various pleas expressed to me by some religious leaders, traditional leaders, former combatants, and other leaders in society. I call on all South Africans to join me in taking the important step and to vote for the MK party and any other progressive party which seeks total liberation and the return of our land to its rightful owners, the African people. The task ahead requires young and older leaders alike to pull in the same direction. No single organization can pull out of the present crisis. We require the same spirit of unity which saw us defeating the monster of apartheid. In the past few months, I have held several meetings with leaders of our people across the spectrum, including about 10 registered progressive political parties, with the aim of fostering a much-needed unity of the historically oppressed and dispossessed in South Africa. We are also discussing the formation of a patriotic front and a voting bloc after the people's victory in 2024 election. We are also discussing the formation of a patriotic front and a voting bloc after the people's victory in the 2024 election to pursue a minimum consensus program of no more than 10 points of agreement to get us out of the present crisis, which is in the process of being formulated. The single aim is to steer the ship of the total liberation from colonialism back on course by uniting Africans across the country, the African continent, and the African diaspora behind the battle for land, justice, and radical transformation towards economic freedom. There can never be reconciliation without socio-economic justice and equality. To explain the necessity for taking these steps, and in particular for choosing the vehicle of Umkhonto Sizwe Party in pursuing our freedom from the present capture by white monopoly capital and the enemies of our people operating among us, I can only quote the founding statement of Umkhonto Sizwe on 16 December 1961. The time comes in the life of any nation where there remain only two choices: submit or fight. The time has now come to South Africa. We shall not submit, and we have no choice but to hit back by all means without our power in defense of our future and our freedom. The statement was true on 16 December 1961 and is also true on 16 December 2023. The new People's War starts from today. The only crucial difference is that instead of the bullet this time, we will use the ballot. This was made possible by the supreme sacrifices made by many freedom fighters in the past 400 years, in the years of resistance across the length and breadth of this land, starting with the heroism of Khoisan leader David Stearman, and culminating in the democratic breakthrough of 1994. Throughout that history, our people and their leaders were prepared for any consequences in the pursuit of freedom, including death itself. At this historical juncture, there is once again no alternative but to pick up the spear of the nation, Umkhonto Sizwe, in defense of our people and in pursuit of a peaceful revolution for radical change. The status quo cannot be allowed to prevail or even get worse. Today, my mission is only to announce the way forward. The formal launch of MK Party and the announcement of its interim leadership and party lists will be done in the early part of 2024. At this stage, we will also report back to the nation on any progress in the discussions around much-needed Black unity and the Patriotic Front discussions. Due to the toxic atmosphere caused by our captured media, judiciary, and other arms of the state, it was necessary to conduct these discussions underground. We will soon be ready to share the details with the nation. No force can defeat a people's thirst for freedom. I thank you.
Good afternoon, former President and everyone else who's here. I sat and listened very attentively to your statement, and obviously as someone who has had the opportunity to obviously cover a lot of you and your thinking and stuff like that, I then wondered, what exactly are you saying? Do you still remain the member of the ANC, but will not vote for the ANC or campaign for the ANC because of what it is doing? And secondly, I think someone who operates outside of the ANC parameters expelled himself. Are you not daring the ANC, Mr. President, to expel you? Thanks.
Thank you. There's a next question. Okay. No, let's just allow the president to respond to that one, then we'll move to the next one.
I didn't hear everything.
So the president is asking, can you specify exactly what the question is? Because you did touch on a number of things, but I think you ought to be specific what you want him to respond to.
Are you still remaining the member of the ANC? That's number one. And number two, are you not daring the ANC to expel you, given that you have publicly said you will operate outside of their parameters?
Thank you very much. I will be a member of the ANC until I die. But if the ANC goes out of the way, I will take time to correct it. And this is to rescue the ANC what I'm doing.
The expulsion, Mr. President.
Why do I ask me that question? Wait a bit. You know, I was a member of the African National Congress, at the same time a member of MK. I've been a member of these two. There's no contradiction. If one wants to do anything, they want as their own business. I joined MK as a soldier, and I took an oath. When I joined the ANC, I signed my signature. I did not take an oath.
Firstly, what
ANC had consulted leaders like Mabuso Msimang not to exit the party. So have you been contacted not to do what you are doing now, maybe by the Secretary General or elders of the ANC? And you've always talked about discipline of the party, that members should be disciplined of the ANC. You are saying that you are not leaving the ANC, but are these not signs of indiscipline coming from the leader of yourself, like yourself? Thank you very much for that.
I don't know whether I heard it.
Ukhala ngendaba ukuthi uMvulisi advocated for discipline in the Congress. But now our actions wakho precede as being indisciplined. Ngoba uyaphuma so ithini into yakho.
No, akangizwa lo. Awungizwa weba. Angishongo ukuthi ngiphuma. Wangifunza manje. Inkolo ngiyayina ngiyiphe. Angizange ngithi ngiyaphuma. I've taken a decision, very specific decision that I've given reasons why. Because, and one of the points that I should have added to my brother there, the African National Congress is a liberation movement. Muntu wabantu abamnyama base South Africa. Not just a political party, as we call it only. It was established by the traditional leaders for the nation. Not a little party that will move out here, you get here. This is African National Congress. I belong in it. I believe in it. I will die in it. But once people mishandle it, I will also come in to rescue it. What else do you want? No. Why should I answer that question here? Why should I answer that?
Don't shoot them.
But Mr. Zuma has been approached by, what is that? I've just put my case here. I put my case. I'm speaking today for the first time. Who would have known what I'm doing? Who would have then approached me? I live in the ANC. I've been the leader of the ANC. I was asked to leave before I finished my term. I did not say anything. Because I'm a disciplined hater of the ANC. Something is being wrong, and I stand up. It is not the first time, by the way. When I write my history, realize that even in prison, we have discussions, very serious discussions. ANC we debate. When the president differs with you, you don't expect it. What is that? Shut up.
Next question. Is your state, as you understand the protocol?
Good afternoon, Mr. President. Umkhonto from Newsroom Africa. Just two questions. Should Umkhonto Sizwe ask you to avail yourself to their face going into the elections, as you said that you're a loyal member of Umkhonto Sizwe, would you be available to represent them on the ballot and serve as their presidential candidate? And secondly, should the ANC come back as they did in terms of having a conversation with Mr. Msimang, be open to having an engagement with the leadership of the ANC so that you can express your frustrations, which you just shared with us right now? Thank you very much.
The first question, Umkhonto was nominated are you open? Ube we ballot paper? That's the first question. Maybe the approach, would you be willing to come back?
Singakushoda nombuzo baba. I have said I'm going to vote MK. That is enough for you. To know whether I will be approached, whether I will agree, because what I'm talking about is a serious matter of the country. have been a volunteer of the ANC. I get instructed by my organization. I got instructed by the ANC. I got instructed by MK. And I worked for both. And I remain a member of both. Even if MK was doing the wrong thing, I would stand up and say this is not right. For an example, one of the things we talk about in MK is discipline. If there's an MK that was not disciplined to deal with, I think you not friendly moves are serious about le high yabatwa.
The president is asking for serious questions. I am a Krishna Wandwa.
There's a woman there.
Is the lady, please? From here.
Good afternoon. Mine is a very short question. I just want to find out. Let's go see Chimambe from the SABC. Okay. I just want to find out how voting for Umkhonto and Sizwe is going to translate into rescuing the ANC. I just want to find out, just from a logistical point of view, arrangement point of view, how it's practically going to work.
But my constitutional must have heard that I'm calling members of the ANC MK to vote for MK. That's what I'm calling for. I'm not going to vote for the ANC. I'm going to vote for MK. And I'm calling MK members, ANC members to vote for me, MK, so that we have a majority to change this country and rescue the ANC from the mess in which it has been put. That's what it is. Clear. It's as clear as anything. Some people were perhaps interested to know. You know the combination with MK and ANC. Some people don't know. When the ANC was banned in 1960, banned, outlawed the ANC. ANC, one of the things it did, it went underground. It was never a military organization. It was the leaders of the struggle who met and said, the time for fighting has come. And you can't fight through ANC. And then there was a long discussion about the need to fight. And you couldn't fight through the ANC. MK was established as a rescue of the struggle with policies different from the ANC in some cases to them. ANC was a non-violent organization. MK was a violent organization. And that's why MK took an oath and was ready to have soldiers, to train soldiers fight. No member of the ANC, just as a member, said, I'm now fighting. If you wanted to fight, you join MK. And even the policies, by the way, for information, because some people mistaken the history for whatever reasons. What happened is that MK, you could be a member of MK, whether blind, you're colored, whatever. At that time, we wouldn't join the ANC if we were not an African. Two different policies. I know some people are arguing about theirs. About Umkhonto as a legend. These are two organizations. And when we came back, we did not lose MK. If you remember, so many here remember, it was actually, the name was taken off. And people who were in MK were MK and VA. Two different things. I'm saying, people who are in charge of the ANC today, who are giving instructions, who are doing everything, they will claim this is our organization. We are not elected. So we have not won that war. We are now, we've introduced MK to come back as a party so that we vote. We don't move away from the ANC. Those who move away from the ANC, I'll tell you the story next year when I've got time to talk about it.
So we'll take the last question.
Fine.
So you'll have time next year, what I said.
Amanda, unfortunately, it's not a question. It's a comment. I want to say, siyabonga ngamala, sibongela kakhulu to come with an ideology and an idea for some of us that needed a place, a shoulder to cry on. Kudala sikhale nyembezi baba. Kubuhlungu ukulwa and sacrifice and see your comrades adutshula toleni kwakho and die for this country, for the better future of our people. And only to find that there are those who come and hijack and kick everyone who is whoever progressive can be. Baxoshwe bangenandawo yokukhalela kuyo. Siyabonga kakhulu nqamala. Ngicela ukuthi bonke abantu abalalele namhlanje ngiyacela asivoteleni MK. We are not lost. Sikhumbule futhi ukuthi sikhuluma ngomuntu obuya ngaphakathi kwe-MK and the ANC, a person who understands the difficulties of our people's lives. We can never claim freedom without economical freedom. Never. I thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for the comment. And another question, because we did say a question, but this will be the last question. And then we close off. Thank you. Name, who you represent.
Angibingelele sinomnyama kwathi ngithi mabandla ngamjongana kandabe naphuza umlaza ngameva egambo lwazi kwabamdlala ngivela eThekwini ngimele imisakazo yomphakathi khona sesigceme nje sakwayibo ngisho kuthiwa i-Vibe FM ngicela ukusebenzisa wonke amageba mbili imibuzo yami nxamalala msholozi mhlanganyela baba ey'nganeni zama-2000 ezingawazi umlando we-MK ezizwa kuthiwa akuvotwe i-MK singathini kusona ey'swele ulwazi mhlawumbe ngabe yini eza ne-MK ehlukile ezoshintsha eSouth Africa uma i-MK inikezwa ithuba lokuqala leyo mbuzo liyouth. Okwesibili, engabe na asinikeze yini iy'mbangi ithuba lokuvelela uma ngabe abanye bezohamba nohlangothi lwe-MK abanye bahambe futhi nohlangothi lwe-ANC. Angeke mhlawumbe lokho kwenza laba esibambisana nabo nesixutisana nabo
first one is again at the 2000s, they are 18-year-old, 19-year-old. Abangazi Umkhonto. What are you saying to them? But relate kanjani kuMkhonto ngoba ama-certificate and credentials abawazi. Sizocela elaborate
ngicabanga baba ukuthi labo khuluma ngabo bazofundiswa. Akekho umuntu ozalwa namhlanje azi yonke into. Bazofundiswa ukuthi Umkhonto usho ukuthini. Why sithe namhlanje Umkhonto ake sibeke wona sivotele wona. Ebese siyabafundisa ukuthi usho ukuthini. Wawusho ukuthini. Akukho esingeze ukubatshela khona. Sizoba nethuba lokuyixoxa indaba nabo bayazi. Siyobathumela nalabo abahleli khona bayizwe. Asifuni bekhona bezokwenza ukuthi sisho ukuthini na. Osekwenzeka ukuthi abasahloniphana abantu. Ngisho abasenhlanganweni abahloniphana. Baxoshana ngisho bengaxabene. Baxabene abanye bayadubulana. Into eyenzeka manje lento esifuna ukuyiqeda nya. Kube iSouth Africa lesifunayo siyazi.
Second part.
Oh, the second question.
Wasn't clear.
Second part of the question. If you can just make it clear.
Okay, kunezinye inhlangano engafisa ukuyibiza ngamagama kodwa nazo efisayo ukungena emandleni. Uma ngabe uthi when uyakholelwa kwi-African National Congress or ANC, kanjalo futhi uthi wena uzovotela i-MK, abantu abathanda uxamalala nabakholelwa kuZuma bazovotela i-MK, hleze mhlawumbe abanye basale ku-ANC. Angeke mhlawumbe-ke amavoti onke ebekade ezoya kwi-MK okanye kwi-MC agcine manje sesipitheka into two. Mase kugcina lezo zinhlangano zombili mhlawumbe zingawini ngokuthi amavoti asehlukene kabili aya ngapha nangapha. Mase mhlawumbe le eseyithendele mesithola amathuba ukuthi ihlale phezu kwesithomweni.
Ngiyakuzwa baba kodwa ngibuza. Ngibuzwa ngakuzwa. Uyabona baba. Uma uyokhethwe sikhuluma ngamanye amaphathi. Sikhuluma ngathi nokuthi abantu sibatshelani bezwane. Yini eletha umehluko? Angazi ngoba asikakhankasi mfanele ngithi bengizothula nje lokho. Uyabona ama-political parties ethu and ngithemba ukuthi uma sekukhankaswa kokhankaswa kahle ngomusa kungathubanwa kungenziwa lutho ngoba inkinga ekhona kimina sengenabo yilungu lephalamende. Kufanele abantu sabakhetha lapho kuba eParliament bayosikhuluma ngosizi lwethu nokuthi basithuthukisa kanjani. Uyathubana eParliament, uyahlushwa lishona ngapha. Inhlonipho ayikho lokho khona. Kufanele silungise lokho thina abantu besizwe. Asukwazi ukuthi sixoxe ingane bona. Umuntu ofuna ukuzeyela legoba phela thina siza nento yokuthi akulungisi. Uyazi ukuthi abantu abamnyama bahlupheka kakhulu namhlanje. Ngaphezulu kokuba behlupheka before. Salwenkululeko. Singaxoxa nalokho siqede. Umuntu ukuthi ukhethani okwakhe lo. Okhetha usizi. Uyena kuyihlala nosizi lwakhe. Siyaphuma thina usizi.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. President Zuma, thank you for